Hello, it's Elita from Science Starz here to do some fun hands-on science with you today. So today we're going to be making crystals, crystal egg geodes, and we're going to be doing some melted wax art. So let's unbox our kit. Inside you will find some pipe cleaners, food coloring, a stick, some crayons, a lid, and some borax powder. Please be aware that borax can be a skin irritant to some people. Use caution when handling it and keep away from small children. Other things you will need are a few glass jars, a measuring spoon, a hard-boiled egg, some egg shells that have had the membrane removed from the inside. I'll just show you quickly what I mean. So this little membrane there. So get rid of that, rinse it out, and then leave them to dry or pat them dry gently. Some scissors, a spoon, and some very hot water. So I need to mention here as well that an adult must be present when doing this activity. The hotter the water, the better, but not boiling water. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to make our egg out of pipe cleaners. So to make your egg, first take one of the pipe cleaners and shape it into an egg shape like so. And just twist the ends of them together to connect them. And then you want to bend them down out of the way so that the sharp points don't poke anybody. So be careful when you're doing that. Okay, so there I have my egg shape, happy with that. Next we want to decorate our egg. So I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. I've already cut this one in half. With half of a pipe cleaner, you're going to just bend it into a zigzag shape like so. So just keep going until it's all bent into zigzag. Okay. And then you just wrap it around a part of the egg like so. And then try to tuck the pointy bit in again so that it doesn't stab anybody. So then we'll do the same on the other side. Don't worry if your egg gets bent out of shape a little bit while you're doing it. You can bend it back into shape once you've got the zigzags connected. So just wrap it around and push it to bend the sharp bit inwards. Okay. Now, I think I'll go for pink. So again, do the same thing and bend it into zigzags like so, and then connect it to your egg. Wrap it around and then poke the sharp bit in. Wrap it around and bend the sharp bit inwards. There we go. Actually, I think I like it that way better. Okay, so once you've got that, you need to connect something that's going to allow for it to be suspended in our solution that we're going to make in a few moments. So take one of the pieces of pipe cleaner that you have left over and wrap it around a couple of times to secure it in place, and then leave this hanging freely. We will adjust it. You will adjust it based on how deep your jar is. Okay, so you can leave that hanging like that for now. Okay, so that's our first step finished. And now it's time to make our super saturated solution. So what you're going to need for that is a measuring jug, you'll want about 500 milliliters of water. So that's going to be pretty much my jug completely full. And you're going to need your borax. Okay, so again, be very careful with the borax. It's best not to touch it with your hands. Next, we're going to get our hot water. So you want to make sure that it is quite hot. The hotter the water, the better your crystals are going to turn out. However, we don't recommend that you use boiling water to avoid any possible spillages and burns. So once you've got your hot water, it's time to start adding the borax. So take your measuring spoon and measure out 1 tablespoon and add it to the water and start to stir it. And try to get it all to dissolve so that you can't see any borax in the water. So then add another spoonful, and you're gonna wanna keep going until you can't stir in all the borax. So once you start seeing it starting to collect at the bottom of your measuring jug, then you know that your solution is super saturated, and that means that the water cannot dissolve any more of the borax. Now, the reason why hot water works better is because you're probably familiar with salt and sugar dissolving in water, and you know that the hotter the water, the more salt and sugar is able to dissolve. So it's the same with the borax. The more borax that the water can hold, the more crystals are going to form. So for your pipe cleaner egg, you will need a tall jar, and for your eggshell geodes, you will need a few smaller jars. So I want to color my egg geodes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my color to the jars where the eggs are going to go. So if you have 2 colors, you can add 1 color to 1 jar, the other to the other one, the second one, and then you can mix the 2 for the third one, and that way you will get 3 colors. So I'm going to mix blue and red and hope for purple. Now it's time to add the hot water to the jars. So we've got our 3 colors and the larger jar where our egg is going to go into. Okay, so immerse that into your jar. You might have to squeeze it to get it in. And try to make sure that it's all completely covered, but without touching the bottom of the jar. So now it's time to put our eggshells into our super saturated color solutions. So I'm just gonna drop them in, cover them up, use a spoon to try to get it fully immersed. Okay, pop that one in here. Okay, and then we'll put this one in here. So I'm just gonna top the super saturated solutions with a little bit more water, just to ensure that the eggs have more coverage. Now, for the process of crystallization to occur, it's important that the solutions cool as slowly as they can. So if you do have the lids, place them on top. You can place them loosely, but if you don't have the lids, you can just drape a towel, a tea towel, over top. Before you cover your pipe cleaner egg, you want to ensure that it's not resting on the floor of your jar. Pull it away slightly from the bottom of the jar and put your stick resting on the jar and wrap your pipe cleaner around the stick a couple of times so that it will stay securely in place. You should start to notice crystals forming after a few hours, but leave it overnight. The following day, you can take them out of their solution, and if you wish, you can reuse your solution. So you could pop it in the microwave or heat it up in a pot, and then you can continue making more geodes or crystals. So make sure to leave your eggs somewhere where they won't be agitated. It could affect the crystal making process, so you want to leave them nice and still until they're all finished being formed. So here are the egg geodes. Now you may find that some crystals formed at the bottom of the jar outside of the egg. If you'd like, you can drain the water and then scoop the crystals into your egg geodes if you want to add more crystals to them. See how they sparkle? To make your melted wax art, you're going to need some crayons, a hard-boiled egg that's just come out of the water, and a lid to rest your egg on. Now, the reason why you want your egg to just be out of the water is because the heat from the egg is going to be what melts the crayons. However, you want to leave it just enough time where it's not at the point where it's going to burn your fingers to touch. Okay, so you'll have to leave it cool for a few minutes and then test it out. But then you have to move quickly, otherwise it cools down and the wax won't melt. So what you'd then do is take your crayons and then just color them whatever way you'd like. So we hope you've enjoyed doing your egg activities today. We would love to see some of your photos. So you can tag us on our Science Starz Instagram page. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now.